Follow my simple instruction. Wind to the left, sway to the right, drop it down.
Hydran Beatty. Also starting at forward, number 6, Rick Bodiford. And starting at guard, number 1, Bruce Massey. The head coach of the Cape Breton Highlanders is Rob Spawn. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce the starting lineup, presented by All-Star Cresting. For your Island Storm, please welcome Cowboy Mike Hughes.
Island Storm fans, it's game time. We're in our house. We're on a 7-game win streak. Let me hear you make some noise. I said, let me hear you make some noise, Storm fans! Are you ready to make this 8 in a row? I said, are you ready? At guard, from Montreal, Quebec, Kemi Osei! At guard, from Los Angeles, California, Franklin Sessions! At forward, from the Lower East Side of New York, Duvon Mad Max Maxwell! At forward, from Cochrane, Georgia, Carl Hall! And the big man in the middle, from Mesquite, Michigan, Chris Anderson! Storm fans, let's make this 8 in a row. Let's get this place rocking right from the start. Storm fans, let's get some noise going here. Let me hear you. I said, let me hear you make some noise.
How you doing, everybody? Peter Ruckgazer alongside Gord McNeely as we get set for this game here this afternoon between the Island Storm and the Cape Breton Highlanders. As you heard Mike Hughes, Cowboy Mike Hughes in fine form. You gotta be careful with the voice cords there, vocal cords, as trying to get this crowd all revved up. And it's a good crowd here at the Eastlink Center. The Island Storm, hottest team right now in the NBLC. They've won 7 in a row. They're coming back from a road trip in Ontario. That was very fruitful for them. Played some great basketball. in their last outing against the Niagara River Lions, a 106-97 victory over a good team from St. Catharines, Ontario. As you had the Storm in that game, they shot 44.8% from the field. In terms of rebounding, 66 rebounds in that game. And a major factor in that part of their game, the addition of Carl Hall. He's been able to play the last 3 games. He met up with the team in Ontario, and he has simply been a monster for the Island Storm. In that game against Niagara, he had 13 points and 7 rebounds in the victory. Talking to Coach Tim Kendrick before this game, and what he likes about his team, they're playing hard, but they're playing smart basketball. On the offensive side of the ball, they're moving the ball a lot. They're making smart plays, smart cuts, good movement. And from a defensive standpoint, just understanding how to play on defense. They're flying to the ball pressure, so he likes what he sees from his basketball team. Unfortunately today, they're going to play without Chris Johnson. He has a finger injury, and Tyler Scott, he's a little nicked up as well. So Island Storm coming back to play their first home game in quite some time. For Cape Breton, boy, they've really had a rough go of it. They had lost 7 games in a row. Then, with a shorthanded bench, they were able to beat London, and coming off a loss last night to Moncton. So we're underway here at the Eastlink Center. Peter Ruckgazer, you'll hear from Gord McNeely in just a bit. Malik Story gets it over here for Boterford. Boterford's going to drive. Little teardrop is no good. You'll notice that the Storm wearing some purple uniforms. Cancer Awareness Day. And those uniforms will be auctioned off after today's contest. There is the aforementioned Carl Hall trying to back down his man. That's Braswell. And Carl Hall, let me tell you something, folks. He is a big-bodied player. And he's going to give the Island Storm some presence in that low post, offensively and defensively. There's a shot from outside for Malik Story as he hits the tray. Malik Story, 26 points, 10 rebounds last night in that loss to Cape Breton, or excuse me, loss to Moncton. Just underway here at the Eastlink Center. Beatty from range, and Beatty, so the Cape Breton Highlanders got it going on from outside. That first shot by Story was a 2, so it's 5-0 here for the Highlanders. Kimi Osei has been giving the Storm some good minutes off the bench. Franklin Session, he wants to try a 3, missed that one. Rebound comes to Anderson. Osei for the triple. And Kimi Osei coming off a 23-point, 7-rebound, 3-assist game against the Niagara River Lions. Bruce Massey Jr. He wants to try triple. That hits the iron, and Franklin Session brings it down. He'll move it up the court now for the Storm. Osei thought about the 3. Yeah, he's going to do it. Jacks it up. Hits the iron, and Story with the defensive board. Boterford kicks it out. Braswell knocking it down big time. And last night in that loss to Moncton, as we've got a foul going against Carl Hall. Last night in that loss against Moncton, this Cape Breton team did not shoot the ball very well. 37.3%. They were 31 of 83. One of the main reasons they lost that game. Having said that, they had the lead in the third quarter against the Moncton team. They've been gutting it out. They have only 8 players dressed here this afternoon. They get the bounce on that one, as that was Beatty. Maxwell tried to get it into the paint for Hall. It went off a Cape Breton player, and it'll be Storm ball. 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Before that loss to Moncton, this undermanned Cape Breton team, they beat the London Lightning, the defending champions, in London. And they shot the lights out in that game. Loose ball put back by Maxwell. And Mad Max getting the deuce. Wanted a foul, not going to get it. 10-5 for Cape Breton. Beatty thought about shooting the three. He wants to shoot it. Rolls around, and there's Anderson. Johnny on the spot to get that rebound. Kimiose pushes it up the court. Anderson. Hall along that baseline looking for the ball, and now it comes out to Massey, and he loses it. Massey rips it away. Session, nice speed. As he got it to Kimiose. A little bit of helter-skelter basketball there. Turnover by Cape Breton. Anderson running the court. His bounce pass goes off a leg. Franklin Session for three. No good. And they're going to say Anderson had the last touch on that ball. It'll be Cape Breton ball here. 8:06 remaining here in the first quarter. And there you see on the replay, Massey had it, didn't have it, gave it away. And Kimiose coming through with two. Bodiford. Braswell, fade away, no good. Highlanders by 3. Franklin working against Massey in the paint. That's a tough shot. Massey blocked that one. And back the other way come Cape Breton. Stopping, popping, and dropping it big time. Malik Story, he's off to a fine start here out of the University of Nevada. So this Cape Breton team, they're undermanned, but they're going to give you a game here this afternoon by the looks of it. And there's a goaltend by Braswell. No two ways about that. Cape Breton going to this game 12-23 in last place in the Atlantic Division. They still have firm belief that they can make the playoffs. They're going to have to win here today, and they need some help as St. John is taking on Halifax this afternoon. This is Story, leaves that one short. Osei, defensive board back the other way. Session kicks it out. Anderson's going to try for the triple, misses it. Offensive rebound for Session, and Franklin, again, Franklin doesn't have his shot so far in this game. Braswell, bounce pass. Bodiford moves in and lays it up. 6:34 remaining in the first quarter, and this Cape Breton team coming on strong. Take a look at this. Nice fast break, and Bodiford, he'll finish it off. Played with 8 players last night in Moncton. They played the majority of their recent trip to Ontario with either 8 or 9 players, so not a lot of bodies. And I took a look at that game they played against London, and I couldn't believe what I saw from this Cape Breton Highlanders team, short of men, up against the defending NBL champions, and they were able to get the job done, and that was a great game. Talking to Coach Spahn about that contest, he said, I've been coaching for 21 years as a head coach, and that was the best victory I've ever seen from a team that I coached. A gritty effort by Cape Breton, and they're going to come out here and give the Island Storm all they can handle. It's funny the way things go. You go back probably about a month ago, and this Island Storm team, they were in turmoil. They'd lost a few in a row. They were injured. They were banged up. As you take a look at where you can go to put a bid on these cancer awareness jerseys that the Storm are wearing here this afternoon. So that's the website that you can go to and place your bid. As I was saying, the Storm a few weeks ago, or probably about a month ago, they were in bad shape, injuries, weren't playing consistent basketball. And right now, this team looking very good. They've won 7 in a row. They're playing the right way at both ends of the court. And Coach Tim Kendrick feels that they're ready for playoffs. They have a few more games left in the regular season, and then we'll get down to the second season. First at hand here, they have to try to solve this Cape Breton team. Carl Hall, Osei. Here's Hall. He faces Braswell, trying to back him down. Little hook shot is good. Good crowd on hand here at the Eastlink Center. One more home game after this one. That'll be against the St. John Riptide next Sunday. Massey puts it in there as Braswell, he was tugged on. Hall had a clamp on him, and Carl Hall is going to get charged with the foul. 3 seconds remaining, though, on the shot clock for Cape Breton. And a little confusion at the timers table here. So they put 14 seconds on the shot clock, so they've adjusted it. Here's Braswell from downtown. That hit the iron and came out. Devon Maxwell. What a season he has had. He and Franklin Session. And that was a tough shot there by Anderson. He was looking for a call, didn't get it. You take a look at the numbers that Devon Maxwell has put up. 18.2 points per game, 6.5 boards, 3.7 assists per game. He's shooting 46.1% from the field. Off the window and in, as that was Beatty. (17-11) for the Highlanders. Hall, he gets double teamed. Comes out to Maxwell from downtown. Loose ball. Who's going to get it? It comes to Maxwell, or excuse me, to Hall. Franklin Session working on Massey. Now it's Beatty he has to contend with. Swings it around, and he overshot Devon Maxwell with that cross-court pass. As you take a look at Tim Kendrick, very happy with the way his team has performed, especially on the road in Ontario. And we're joined now by Gord McNeely.
Hey, Peter.
Down on the court making a little presentation for United Way, was it?
Yeah, United Way, we do game changers, just recognizing people in the community. And today was Lisa Rose, so great community volunteer in the Surrey area.
Big block by the Storm, and then Devon Maxwell coming back the other way and getting a deuce.
Yeah, good pace to this game. And when I was down there, Peter, I heard a lot of trash talking going on between Macy and Mr. Session.
Braswell trying to get around. Hall with a big block. Shot's no good.
Yeah, good shot. Wide open jump shot off a little pick there. So you're getting good shots. I mean, the pace of this game, I think, is going to go in the favor of the Storm here. Oh.
And that's a foul on Kime Ose. And I was just saying, while you were down making that presentation, Kime Ose, he has really stepped up over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 weeks for this team. Had that big game against the Niagara River Lions. I think that's a season high for him in terms of points, as he had 23.7 rebounds, 3 assists. So they're really starting to add some depth here.
Yeah, and you can get that production at that position, and good score. He's always done it in his career. Just takes a little while to get adapted to the NBL and to get your shots and then hit in the rhythm of the shooting, and he did that so well in Ontario.
Bodiford for 3. Bodiford knocking it down hard with authority.
And there's a good shooter right there. Perfect release, working hard, dangerous player, Bodiford.
Out of Indiana University Southeast, from Louisville, Kentucky, and the Storm reply.
Yeah, and look, Chris Anderson can hit that shot he did in Ontario, and that stretches the defense.
Beatty drives, little finger roll, no good. Braswell there to back him up and lays it in.
Yeah, second chances there for that one. Just good play by Braswell, and you just got to clean up the glass there with the Storm.
Here's Franklin for 3. And Beatty left all alone, and he jams it.
And in that transition play, that was a little bit unacceptable for the Storm. They looked like they were out St. Patrick's Day that night. I mean, they're slow getting back, and I watched the players. You got to bust back. This Cape Breton team is going to play on emotion, and you got to stop that right away.
Henry's into the game, and he makes his presence felt with a triple.
Oh, Jerry and Henry all over the place.
Wow,
there.
yeah, he's in that defensive stance. Look at him get after it on defense. Botiford drives. Oh, and Anderson with a big-time block.
It's like he just finished a bottle of Super Mountain Dew or something.
Look at that defensive stance. He's giving Botiford all he can handle. And then Anderson. And, you know, on that road trip to Ontario, the one thing that Coach Kendrick liked, they're getting the understanding of what they need to do on defense.
Mm-hmm. You can't ask for anything more. Going to Ontario and winning 3 games in a row, amazing. But this is a maturity game. And what I mean by that is when you win 3 games in a row on the road, you come back and you think it's going to be automatically done at home. And I'm watching for that for the Storm. And with their start, you kind of see that a little bit. They got to buckle down and play a tough professional team here. So they're in a quick zone there.
Here's Session, baseline shot. No good, flying in is Anderson. Loose ball, Anderson saves it. No, he didn't. He stepped out. The one thing that Coach Spahn said, he's been happy with his team. There's been nights where they've played with 8, 9 guys, and they've come out and they've played hard and they played with determination. So he's very proud of his team, despite the inability to get some wins. And you look at some of the games they played, they've been in those games that they've lost.
Last night in Moncton, they were working hard. I like this team. I'm sorry. This Cape Breton team is a good team. They play in every position. They might be a little bit undersized. That might be their one fault, but they make up for it in so many different ways. And their guards can shoot and play. And they play well together. It's just they haven't really completed the last 5 minutes of those basketball games a lot of the times.
Brad States into the game. Henry, they swing it around. Anderson. And that's a foul against Massey. The one guy that they really miss is Duke Monde, who left the team. He's playing in the G League for the Dallas Mavericks G League team, the Texas Legends. And talking to Coach Spahn, that's the one guy they truly miss. Gave them at least depth at the point guard position. So,
oh, without a doubt, great player.
Under a minute now in this first quarter. Osei fakes the shot. Mad Max misses, and Massey brings it down. Massey drives, little floater, gets it back again. Can't convert. Here's Osei. Anderson missed it. States is in there with that offensive board. No look pass for Osei by Maxwell. Henry for 3. Anderson there. And the big dot cleans it up off the glass and puts it back.
Man, and that was a really – and you know what? Henry made that whole play happen. That's why when he took that shot, I was glad. He was working his tail off and it cleared the defender out, allowed States to come in for an easy offensive rebound to keep the play alive. Very good hustle plays by the Storm.
And Chris Anderson, what a great addition he has been for this Storm team. Out of Louisiana Tech.
And when you think about it, Anderson, Henry, and Hall have only been in here for maybe 4 weeks at maximum, 6 weeks for some of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're playing together. Those 3 guys weren't there 2 months ago. So the Storm, this is going to be a tough playoff team, this Island Storm team. I'm excited for what's going to happen in playoffs this year.
They've secured a playoff spot. Just now need to keep their consistency. And there's a shot from the corner by Botiford.
Yeah.
And he knocks it down. So quarter in the books. And the Highlanders, they're shorthanded. They're banged up. But they're here to play in Charlottetown, and they're up by 6. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Now they've got the playoff spot, locked up, the Island Storm do. Coach Kendrick, hey, keep the pedal to the metal. Keep playing the way we did on that Ontario road trip. So he wants to maintain things here that he has seen over the last little while and get ready for postseason.
Yeah, and he's got to get, I mean, with Scott not in the game and Johnson not in the game, he's got to get those guys rested and get a full contingent ready to go and battle hard. But the Storm team are good in all the positions now. So, and that's what they were kind of maybe missing. We didn't have that 5 position secured, a little bit of question at the 4. Sometimes Mad Max likes to play the 3 into the 2 spot. So, I mean, now we're deep in all positions. So, I mean, it's just a matter of guys executing the game plan and playing incredibly hard, and good things will happen.
And what a juxtaposition. I was just saying when you were down on the court, Gord, I mean, you go back about, what, month, maybe 5 weeks ago, and this team was in disarray. I mean, they had lost 5 or 6 in a row. Nothing was working for them defensively, and boy, how things can change just like that.
Yeah, and they'd lost a few close games and just hadn't finished down the stretch in those fourth quarters. Just takes guys. Basketball players have, you know, the shortest memories in history. They don't care what happened yesterday. It's about today. And then you're seeing it when the Storm team goes. Nobody would have predicted they'd gone 3-0 in Ontario. So they've got a lot of momentum and a lot of confidence being built. Now you have to get back to executing and make sure you just take it quarter by quarter.
Just a reminder, folks, next home game, the last home game of the regular season, March 25th against the St. John Riptide. Phone the Eastlink Center box office, 902-629-6625 to get your tickets. Box office hours, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday if you want to come down to the Eastlink Center and get a couple of tickets for the final regular season home game, March the 25th. Right now, the Storm down by 6. Henry inside for Maxwell. And he delayed a little bit and put it off the glass. And again, talking to the referee, he wanted a foul. Thought that Bodiford hacked him a little bit. Maxwell trying to clamp down on Bodiford. Here's Beattie. Banks bodies there with States. Shot's no good. Franklin saves it. Burdine is into the game, number 3 for the Storm. Maxwell. Here's Brad States. States going to go after that loose ball. Good hustle by Brad States. Here's Maxwell for 3. Window and in for Mad Max.
Yeah, well, that's the best spot to put it off the glass is straight away.
But great hustle by Brad States.
Yeah, and he shot that mid-range, looked good. And then offensive rebound kept the possession alive. You score a lot of the times off of offensive rebounds.
Beattie puts it on the deck. Fade away. Left it short. Brad States, he had a hand on it momentarily. And then Genty and Bodiford couldn't hang on to the ball. Here's that great hustle by Brad States coming out of nowhere.
We're going to bank 3.
You know, talking to Coach Kendrick, he said, hey, listen, when your top 2 players are Maxwell and Session, and they work the hardest, everybody has to follow. And that's been what's been happening over the last little while as Henry gets the deuce, and he'll head to the line and shoot 1.
Yeah, and I mean, they're working the hardest, and then you got Henry coming in and saying, I'm going to be the hardest worker today. And he's done some pretty great things here today with a stop and gets fouled on that play. I mean, those are really important baskets in the first half of basketball.
And to the left of us, we've got Kevin Duffy, head coach of the Acadia men's basketball team, who is in Charlottetown. Nice to see him coming off the U Sport Championships in Halifax with his Acadia Axemen. So he's here to watch some NBLC action.
Oh,
nice play. But they're going to say, I guess, that Devon stepped out, or let's take a look at it here. Oh, he was still out of bounds.
Yeah, he
received the pass, that little touch pass from Henry. Here's a
What?
shot, knocking it down is Malik Story, and he's had a hot hand here for Cape Breton in the early going of this one.
Yeah, great player. Look at that release.
Devon Maxwell, that was in and out of the cylinder.
this tempo of this game for a Sunday afternoon. Both these teams have played a lot of basketball lately. It's fantastic.
Genty with the mid-range. And the 37-year-old veteran making that shot out of Toronto. Played his college ball at South Illinois University in Edwardsville.
Yeah, they needed that veteran presence, and for him to come in and hit shots like that.
Mad Max trying to muscle his way along the baseline. Story loses the handle. Storm have numbers. Here's Mad Max, and he jams it down big time.
Man, just the hustle play to two guys at the – that's what happens when you don't bring it up with your point guard. If a guy thinks there's a fast break and there's a couple guys on, they often lose the ball there. So here's the replay, and Session just got in there, and States was around, and the length of Mad Max.
What a season he's had. I mean, take your pick who the MVP for the season for the Storm is. It could be Session. It could be Devon Maxwell. They've led this team right from the get-go. There's Malik Story again as he's shooting the ball very well here for Cape Breton. Maxwell in the paint, drives. Look at that.
Yeah. And it was that three, that bank three before, Peter. You see how just the ball going in, doesn't matter how it goes in, how it leads to different confidences in these players. And makes two easy baskets, important baskets after that.
35-32 lead for Cape Breton. Braswell from downtown, triple for the big man.
Now the Storm have a problem here with the perimeter shooting defensively, and they've got to make sure they get up and check a little bit harder on the three-point line.
Franklin, he wants to try a tray. Loose ball, Breton can't get to it. Braswell is there for the Highlanders. Bigelow. Inside, that rolled around and came out. That was Jamal Reynolds as he's into the game, and then Cape Breton, they're not back on defense, and Carl Hall makes him pay for it.
Yeah, good transition by the Storm using the pass to get it up the floor, but Cape Breton is getting unbelievable shots here. So the Storm's defense needs to come around a little bit. They got the switch they wanted here.
Bounce pass into the corner. Genty tried to kick it out and does get it to Bigelow. Bigelow along the baseline, and the shot clock ran out on Cape Breton.
But good movement still by the Highlanders. They're really playing good basketball.
The question is, how much gas are they going to have in the tank here? They've got a short bench. They played last night against Moncton.
Yeah. I mean, it's a long game at this level, at this speed, so.
And they've been on the road for, it seems like, for weeks. It's been a couple of weeks they've been on the road.
Yeah. And that was good. Well, Jamal Reynolds is, they see this matchup over here, Anderson and Jamal Reynolds. Jamal Reynolds, hell of a player out of Toronto area, but he's, like, even before it gets set, that's a mismatch here with Anderson.
Let's see, inbounds pass, and Brad States couldn't convert. Back the other way is Reynolds. Reynolds will lay it up.
Great player, quick player, can get to the basket, shoot the jump shot. Big part of this team.
Played at Canisius College in Buffalo. Franklin out of control a little bit, and then States, he gets fouled. So States will head to the line. He'll shoot a pair. As Kime Osei, he's going to check in momentarily for the Storm. Brad States, he's had his injury problems this season. Been nicked up a couple of times, but what a great season he's had. His second pro campaign here with the Island Storm.
Yeah, I mean, States is the guy that you want to have in your, especially come playoff time, where he's going to bruise. He's not scared. He got in a little altercation there with Billy White. No,
yeah.
Was it Billy White? Yeah.
It was Billy White a couple of weeks ago against Halifax.
Didn't back down. I mean, he brings so much to the team, and I really like the young man. So congratulations on a second-year campaign for States.
So Brad will take a seat. Bigelow wants to drive. Bigelow. And they're going to say that is Cape Breton ball. 12 seconds remaining on the shot clock here. 6:45 left in the second quarter. Highlanders up by 5. Braswell, catch, shoot. Missed that one. Maxwell brings it down, pushes it up. Here's Anderson in the paint. Franklin, no room for him.
The extra passing going on with the Storm. Pretty impressive.
Spin move by Maxwell. That is beautiful.
I mean, the 2 guys passed up shots twice. I mean, we're not used to seeing that because they're so prolific scoring. So Storm really moving the basketball.
It's a Story trying his luck again from downtown. He's had a great first half. Session swings it out. Kimiose, oh, that was in and out of the cylinder. Hall trying to fight for the ball, gets it back again. Hall on the baseline, knocks down his man. That's going to be a foul against Carl Hall.
And what a play by Jamal Reynolds. I'm sorry, but he made 3 or 4 defensive. He was like the only one back there, and then he picks up the charge. Like, look at this. He's working for it, gets back up off the ground, and gets in front and takes a charge.
And taking a charge against a much bigger man than Carl Hall. No.
I'm not going in there.
And a putback, good effort there. That was Braswell. No, I'll take a charge. You give me a football helmet and a pair of football shoulder pads, I'll take a charge.
One of those bulletproof vests, too.
Yeah.
Take one of those.
Here's Hall fighting his way underneath the bucket along the baseline. Session. They swing it around. Kimiose. Here's Hall trying to back down Braswell. Mad Max for 3. Missed that one. Saved by Session. Osei wide open, and he knocks that one down with authority. So good ball movement, good patience by the Island Storm.
Look at
back the other way was Reynolds.
That's just going to start a fast break the other way. So this is where Cape Breton, do they have the legs to get out of this quarter?
Franklin. Osei. And Kimiose is feeling it big time.
I'm watching the coach. Is Simone going to call a timeout? He's looking at it. He's got to save his timeouts. But there
Let's see. Did he call a timeout?
Well, everybody's saying this is a good time to call a timeout. He doesn't have a strong bench.
Now, I was looking over there. I didn't really see him call a timeout.
No, I didn't see it either. I was watching him. Yes. There.
Okay.
He might have just done it secretly.
Yeah. Okay, so a timeout for Cape Breton. Boy, in that little sequence there, the Storm really came on strong.
Look at the Highlanders. They're walking back. Like, the Storm are already in their timeout, and the Highlanders are just walking back to the timeout. Like, that's how fatigued they are.
They've been on the road for quite some time, and boy, they've had a rough go of it. 6-11 on the road this season. They're 2-8 in their last 10 games. But there's still a belief within the Cape Breton team that they can make the playoffs. They need a victory here, and they need some help.
Well, and I mean, I like this team a lot. If you're in Cape Breton, hello, Cape Breton fans. Like, you've got something to really cheer for there because they work hard, and each one of them can play basketball. So I think they're going to finish up it's just some of the road trips have been unbelievable, like difficult.
And they're missing some real good players. You got Shane Oseande. He's out with an injury. He probably will not be back this season. He was averaging 12.1 points, 7.5 boards per game. One of the best rebounders on this team, so he is done probably for the season. Then you have the Duke Monde situation, which was good for Duke, that he, moved up another level to the G League and the Texas Legends, Dallas Mavericks farm team. But, I mean, he was averaging 17.9 points per game, 5 dimes a contest, so that's a big loss for them. And, Rashad Wack, who had played here for the Island Storm, he is injured.
Wow.
And probably will not be back. Also, there's an issue with getting a work visa. So, wow, they've really had some problems with injuries, and then players, for one reason or another, not being able to play for them.
Yeah. Peter, you're looking for a new jersey, are you?
Looking for a new jersey, and as we mentioned, these jerseys that the Storm are wearing, these purple jerseys for cancer awareness, they're going to be auctioned off. You're going to see the email address on the screen in order to place a bid, and we'll keep reminding you of that throughout the afternoon.
I'm getting me a jersey. And this, again, it's for breast cancer, so make sure you, whatever number you're going to bid on, put another 0 behind it. No, I don't know.
It's a very good cause. I think every one of us probably in this building, we've know somebody who's been touched by that deadly disease. And there's Maxwell as he gets fed by Session and slams it down.
No need for Session to make that extra pass, does, and for the dunk. I mean, this team is really coming together. There's been a lot of good signs of teamwork here going on, and I'm really impressed.
Storm with a 45-44 lead over the Highlanders. Braswell wide open. Left it a little short. Franklin's going to push the pace. Osei gets it into the post for Hall. Again, banging bodies with Braswell. Here's Anderson. He's wide open. Good look for Chris Anderson, and he makes no mistake.
We haven't seen the Storm all season shoot out of the post touch because we haven't had a post player, and now we're seeing it, and that's how it's much easier to shoot when the ball goes inside out.
Carl Hall's going to be a major help for this team in the low post defensively, offensively, and you're seeing it right here this afternoon, what he can bring to the Storm team. Put back by Braswell, and there's Hall swinging the elbows, ripping that ball away.
What's neat about Hall is I watched that game. Cross-court, difficult pass. But Hall took it to the Niagara Post players. Muldrove, I think it was. He bested him up there in his old court. So, I mean, good on him because he went up there and he really, really played well.
13 points, 17 boards in that game against his old team. That was a 106-97 victory for the Storm over the River Lions.
Yeah, nice basket there by Maxwell. And you're starting to see the gap and the legs leave the Highlanders. They need an easy shot, and that's exactly what they needed right there. And Bruce Massey, he is some kind of pro. He does it all for this team. So exactly right timing to get to the foul line, stop the clock, and let his team rest a little bit and see if they can score too.
Bruce Massey Jr. out of Germantown, Maryland, averaging 20.4 points per game, 6.1 rebounds, 4 dimes a game. So he's been one of the players that's picked up the slack with all the injuries and the players unable to play for Rob Spahn and the Cape Breton Highlanders. And this Cape Breton team, boy, at the beginning of the season, they lost 5 in a row. Then, you know, they got on a bit of a roll. And, you know, they won 6 out of 8. And since that time, they lost 7 in a row, got that big win against London, and then, you know, it just caught up to them with all the injuries and whatnot.
Exactly, yeah. They're hanging in there. If they can make these 2 free throws, get it to within 4, keep it close going into halftime, rest at halftime, and then come out and see if you can continue to hit those shots, because they started off hitting shots, and then your legs kind of go, and everything gets a little short and clangy, and they need to get that back. So they're using their timeouts wisely, but the Storm are just coming at them. Their fast break today has been sensational. And really everybody getting into it, ball moving through the pass, and exactly what kind of basketball the Storm want to play.
And I would imagine that's, you know, that is their style, but you got to even emphasize that even more when you consider you only have 9 guys dressed here, 8 guys dressed with this Cape Breton Highlanders team.
Yeah, 8 guys, and you probably took the water boy from Sydney too for a jersey. So I mean, yeah, it's just difficult. So they're fighters. They're doing it. Say hello to all the fans watching in Sydney. Great basketball city.
And if I'm not mistaken, this Cape Breton team, they have one more game before they head back home, as they're going to take on Halifax, and then they'll head back home and get a couple of home games in, because they've been on the road for quite some time.
Peter, when I was talking to the as he hits his first one, we were talking to the fans, and we were watching the last game in Ontario, the Niagara game. I said there was some talk about Jahi Carson and Frank Session, and maybe in the third quarter I said that we would compare both those players just for fun, Jahi Carson and Frank Session, and they were asking who do you think was better. So we're going to address that maybe at a break in the third. Does that sound fun?
That sounds interesting. I mean, two great players. Yeah. You know, if you're a coach, you'd like to have either one of them. That shot by Anderson in and out. Franklin, and then Mad Max comes in and throws it down.
Just good team basketball.
Okay, so they're going to wave off the bucket. Franklin was fouled, so he'll head to the line and shoot a pair.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, Maxwell, I'm not sure you can grab the rim, pull yourself up, and then grab the ball and dunk it. I don't know the rule on that. But it looked pretty nice.
Yeah, Devon is playing a strong game here this afternoon. You're always going to get an effort from Devon, Maxwell, and Franklin Session. You know what they're going to bring.
So this is an important 2 minutes for this Cape Breton team. They got to score on this possession here.
Massey, as Maxwell's trying to defend him.
You can see the Storm defense really picked up a bit.
Massey put it up. Wide open. Malik Story adjusts his shooting position, can't make it. And they're going to say that's Storm ball.
Yeah, Osei did a good job of selling that because I think he put it out of bounds.
Here's Kimi Osei.
Inside, outside.
Franklin down the lane. Put back by Anderson.
And that's because the ball went into the post. Quickly out again. The driving lane for Session is, I haven't seen it that open all season.
54-46 lead for the Storm. 1:16 remaining in the second quarter. Braswell in there. He takes a little bit of a stink-eye look at the referee. Not going to get a call.
Spacing issues right now. There's two people on the weak side post.
Franklin working on Massey, throws it up for Hall. He almost ran out of track. And then Braswell defended that one very well. 5 seconds now remaining on the shot clock for the Storm. As you take a look at Rob Spahn. Hall to Maxwell. Bodiford leaning on him. Shot clock ran out. Here's Maxwell. They get the ball.
Oh, hands.
And then Maxwell turned it over. Back the other way. Beatty, and he's fouled by Devon Maxwell.
Oh my goodness, Bruce Macy. Those hands were lightning. Big play right there to get the ball. Create a 2-on-1. And look at the hustle. Who was that coming in and out of the screen? Unbelievable. Was that Flash Gordon? I mean.
Yeah, Devon, he got back there in a hurry. He took the foul, but
the speed at which he can move up and down the floor. I hope people can appreciate how hard he's working. He shouldn't have even been able to get to that player. Amazing.
See Devon talking to one of the referees. As Beatty, he made the first shot. He'll go for the second here. 37.5 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Storm leading this one 54-48 now. Franklin. And
on the floor.
Foul on the floor, so 17 seconds remaining on the shot clock here for the Island Storm.
But Carl Hall is really making the floor open up for Session. And his speed is just, both those players are going to play well together. Those three, that trio of Maxwell, Session, and Hall.
Gave up a pretty good player, and Dyke Jr. But this is the type of player that the Storm have been looking for. And that pass, Anderson wasn't aware it was coming towards his way. Here's Bodiford, 6 seconds remaining. Bodiford's going to put up a 3, and Bodiford makes the Storm pay as they just were not paying attention. And that's the type of thing that'll drive a coach crazy. A little mistake to end the second quarter, but for the most part, nice performance by the Storm.
A nice performance there. Little hiccups at the end of that quarter. Like I said, you have to start and end quarters very well. And that you turn the ball over, you give up the 2 points that you would have gotten, and then you give Cape Breton 3 points on an easy jump shot at the end. Just clean that stuff up going into quarters, and the Storm are going to be all right.
Okay, so at the break, the Island Storm, they lead the Cape Breton Highlanders 54-51. Will step out. We'll come back with second half action in about 14-15 minutes time. Welcome back, everybody. About ready to get going here. Third quarter action from the Eastlink Center in Charlottetown. And it is a 54-51 lead for the Island Storm, trying to make it 8 wins in a row. They're the hottest team in the NBLC, taking on the Cape Breton Highlanders here this afternoon. These two teams, they're going to meet once again, and that will take place on March the 30th in Sydney. That'll be the final meeting between these two basketball teams. The Storm, they've won 4 of 6 versus Cape Breton this season. And just a reminder, folks, last regular season home game for the Storm, March the 25th against the St. John Riptide. You can get your tickets by phoning the Eastlink Center box office, 902-629-6625. Head on down to the box office here at 46 Kensington Road in Charlottetown. And box office hours are 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Underway here, third quarter action from the Eastlink Center. Here's Massey. His shot, fadeaway is off the mark. Franklin down the lane. That's a tough shot, and Franklin gets fouled. And that foul will go against Malik Story. Not in the lineup today is Chris Johnson. He has a finger injury, and the Storm are hoping that he's going to be ready in the next little while. And also not playing today is Tyler Scott. He is out also with an injury. As Franklin's at the line, and let's give you some numbers here. Devon Maxwell is off to a great start. 19 points, 5 rebounds so far after 2 quarters of play. Inside, and that's Massey Jr. He gets knocked down as Anderson was there defensively. Here's Franklin for 3. Franklin's shot's been off just a little bit here this afternoon.
He's only got 2 points. He is 0 for 9 from the floor.
See if he can heat it up here in this second half. Beatty's had a strong game so far. I believe he has 11 points in this game. And there's a shot off the mark by Story.
Yeah, Beatty's got 11 on 4 for 9 shooting.
Loose ball stripped away by Session. Maxwell almost lost it. OC was right there to help him out. He'll put it into the post here for Hall. He turns, drives. A little too strong there. Back the other way. This is Bodiford. Bodiford with the lay-in.
Smooth. Just knew where he was going with the ball.
That was in and out as Maxwell with that mid-range. Bodiford wants to drive. Oh, nice finger roll off the window and in. So Bodiford, he keeps bringing it for Cape Breton.
Yeah, same play. Like he just kept going to the basket. So you got to stop his initial dribble because he's feeling it right now.
1 point lead now for the Highlanders. So they've come out here looking pretty confident.
Bodiford's got 15 in the game.
And it's going to be a foul on Story.
Yeah, and you know, Session has only got 2 points, or if he hit one of those free throws, I wasn't really watching. But he's got 6 rebounds and 6 assists, so definitely I think he's on a triple-double watch right now, even though he's got 2 points. Scoring's not his issue for him. Once he gets hot, he can score in a hurry.
Here's Anderson. Lost the handle. It comes to Franklin. 4 on the shot clock. Gets his man up in the air, and Franklin Session, get out of town. Are you kidding me? He showed so much patience with about 4 seconds on the shot clock. He didn't rush anything. Knocks it down.
Unreal, Peter. I don't know what to say. That was hard work.
Here's Anderson back the other way. And he can't make the layup. And right there is Devon Maxwell as he backs him up and gets the deuce.
And now you got problems because, I mean, Session only had 2 points. Here it is again. Like, step back. I think he got fouled there.
I was just about to say that. It looked like there was some contact there, but Cape Breton got away with one there. But, I mean, unbelievable Franklin session.
He had a little church moment there afterwards for the Sunday. Because, I mean, he knows that that's just a matter of time before those go down. And he's probably talking to the ref now.
Wanting that foul on the 3-ball that he hit.
He's waiting his turn.
Yeah, the Coach Bond is in there, so he had to take a number. Yeah, had to take a number.
Yeah, he's saying, I got hit.
Let's take a look at Coach Tim Kendrick. Trying to pump up his team. And Braswell sinks that second one.
And different team because Session only has 2 points in that first half, and then they have the lead. I mean, you know the Storm are getting better every game.
Maxwell working on Massey. And gave that one away. Story runs the break, and a put down by Beattie.
Nice stretch dunk. That was a good fast break, just on the turnovers, right? So you just got to make the easy pass.
And then Franklin again with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, so now he's just like that. He's up to 8 points. And he's starting to feel it.
And that was Bodiford trying to hook up there with Story on a pass. As take a look at this triple here by Franklin.
He just gets up so quickly into his jump shot. And he's hitting that consistently.
Oh, great inbounds passes. Massey and Bodiford hook up. Storm by 1. Just basically underway here in the third quarter. Island Storm looking to make it 8 wins in a row. They're the hottest team in the NBLC. Anderson into the paint. Good feed. And Hall deposits the 2.
Team basketball.
One thing you notice, they're really sharing that ball.
Oh, yeah.
Bodiford shot's no good. Hall skies. Gets that defensive rebound. Osei stops, pops, hits for 2. Kimi Osei.
And you can tell that jump shot's confident. Nice and smooth shot at the top of the release. Nothing, beautiful straight line in that jump shot. So, I mean, the playing with a lot of confidence, these guards are.
Story. Anderson eyeballing him. Braswell from downtown, no good. Loose ball. Maxwell had to do a good job there athletically to keep that one in play. Here's Hall into the low post, working against Braswell, lost the handle. Massey swings it over. Wide open is Bodiford. Makes it look easy.
Big time.
With that 3-ball there for number 6 for Cape Breton.
He's got 18. I mean, he's just stroking it today.
That miss, and here's Massey in transition.
Oh, no.
Oh, Bodiford open again. Boy, oh boy, he has got the red-hot hands here in this third quarter. As Rick Bodiford, he's knocked down a couple of threes. And this Cape Breton team, they're shorthanded, but they're sticking around.
I'll tell you why that's happening, because the Storm are feeling good at every position. This is it. They need some ball movement.
Franklin for 3, no good.
Now you got to get back and defend. You have to know where Bodiford is. He's on the right side of the court. And he's being guarded by Maxwell, so Maxwell won't give him a sniff here.
Here comes Bodiford off a screen. Gets closed down. Massey, wide open is Beattie. And that rolled out. And whose ball is it going to be? They're going to say it is Storm ball.
And I don't know if you get the replay on that, but you saw, watch Session here. Watch him come in from the outside. Oh, and he just kneed Maxwell right in the hip.
Mad Max in the hip, yeah.
I mean, that's what kind of respect Bodiford was bringing. I mean, he shot faked, and not his guy didn't bite for it. The guy beside him came flying in. Amazing. He's got 21, and he's playing really good. But the Storm have to get his shots came off quick shots. The Storm came down, took quick shots, and then Cape Breton broke it, and then Bodiford was wide open. So the Storm need to move the basketball more and make sure they don't give up that fast break.
And that's one of the things that Tim Kendrick said he was really happy with, you know, moving that ball, getting the movement going, and it just seems that every once in a while they get away from that in the game, and it costs them a little bit when they, you know, don't move the ball and use that clock.
Yeah. So we got a basketball, and it's only a 1-point game, but it really feels like the Storm have to get momentum under control, because the longer Cape Breton hangs around, the shorter this game gets, the more chance they have at winning it. So the Storm have to make sure they make this Cape Breton team work, and you can't give up wide open jump shots from the corner like that. The Highlanders don't have to work for that. So get back, get a good timeout here. Make sure you finish up this last 5:19 in style.
And this Cape Breton team, well, you would think they'd be a little bit tired. They played last night. They've been on the road for quite a bit. They just got back from an Ontario road trip. Let's give you an update on a couple of other games taking place in the NBLC. Right now, 10:22 left in the third quarter. It is St. John. They're leading. No, excuse me. It is Halifax leading St. John 52-38 in that game. And 5:32 remaining in the first quarter. And the London Lightning, Royce White and the London Lightning leading Kitchener 23-10. So two other games taking place in the NBLC.
Nice.
And right now, 5:19 remaining in the third quarter here at the Eastlink Center in Charlottetown. It's a 1-point lead for Cape Breton over the Storm. And this Cape Breton team, ravaged by injuries, but they're sticking with it. You got to give them full marks.
This is out of a timeout, so we'll see what kind of quality shot the Storm get here.
Wynn Jr. comes into the game, his first appearance, number 11. Henry is in there. He tried to feed Wynn Jr., turned it over.
And he's in for defensive purposes. To look at that stance. That is a world-class basketball defensive stance.
And that's going to be a foul on Roshan Wynn Jr. And see, Henry is out in the game here. As you take a look at the foul, just before the third quarter, they were sweeping the floor. He was part of the crew with one of the ball boys helping them sweep the floor. So extra duty there for Jerion Henry. And Maxwell.
What a block.
Oh, and then they turn it over, and Braswell, yes, gets the roll. And so a little miscommunication between Anderson and Mad Max.
The concentration. The Storm have had 7 or 8 crucial turnovers in this game that have led to baskets the other way.
Well, the last play of the first half was an example of that. They turned the ball over, and Cape Breton knocked down a double.
Yeah, so that's the difference in this. That's what's allowing this game could be a 15-point game for the Storm if they just take care of the basketball in key situations.
Henry thinking about shooting a three, moves up a couple of steps.
Oh, what a rebound.
And back the other way. That ball comes to Braswell. Massey is there. He loses it. But that's going to be a foul against the Storm, and then somebody gets teed up.
What? And Jaren made a great play from his back to steal that ball, but he was out of bounds. And I'm not sure who picked up the technical. I know the crowd's not happy.
A couple of hey refs I can hear. So Massey hits that one.
And Jaren Henry can pull the trigger on that shot. He passed up the three, dribbled in, and then you're thinking about it. So just get your feet set where you want to shoot the ball and let it fly. He's more of a slashing type, rebounding type, but you got to be able to hit that 10 to 18-foot jump shot.
Massey, Beatty puts it on the deck and then runs right into Henry.
And good team defense by Jarian Henry and Maxwell there. Maxwell got his hands in there, and then Henry was there for the charge. So that's what you like to see for the Storm. Now you got to get a quality shot.
Anderson, Wynn into the paint for Henry. He gets double teamed. Oh, nice move. No, they're going to call him on the travel.
No,
no,
they're gonna call him on the
it's a foul against him. And Braswell, he goes over the referee and goes, what, me? He wants an explanation. Let's take a look at it here.
Oh, man, there's no foul there.
Did he not take an extra step?
He did,
though?
but the ref called it when he was at the apex of his jump.
Okay.
Yeah, so he did the step through.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, I'm going to get blocked. And
yeah.
Then, you know, your brain has to work so fast.
No wonder Braswell went over the referee and had his hands in the air going, what? You know, explain this to me.
Yeah. The ref had blown in his head it was foul, but I mean, if he would have waited a second, it would have been a travel, but
70-67 Highlanders. Beatty put it on the deck, lost it. Back the other way, Session. Win.
Oh, no.
Maxwell back to Session. Lays it in.
Yeah, that was good for him. I didn't know about that fast break. It was very weird. But 4-on-1. And they connect, so they're down 1 here, the Storm are.
Bodiford. Here's Massey for 3. Massey knocking it down hard.
And really nice play. Really controlled. Ran exactly what the coach wanted. They got the shot they wanted.
I'll tell you, all hands on deck for this Cape Breton team. Nobody has been slacking off for Cape Breton. They can't afford to have anybody slack off. They don't have enough bodies, really. So everybody has stepped up for the Highlanders. Pass is almost picked off. Here's Bodiford. He's out of control. Almost lost it. Bodiford in for Braswell. Can't maintain, and it'll be Storm ball.
A little bit of luck there on that defensive possession by the Storm. Now, Henry's catching the ball at that high post and the reversal, but he doesn't want to shoot it, and that's not good. You got to get him in the high post and get him to reverse it through there where he can actually play offense. So you see his defender's not playing him.
Going to try a 3.
Yeah, he's got to shoot that, and he's got to keep the defense honest.
Bodiford will slow it down. Bodiford again. Win. All up in his grill.
Oh.
And they're going to say that Massey stepped out.
Coach has shown him where he stepped out. But that was a heck of a up fake by Massey. I don't know if you can
take a look at it here.
The skill at this. Watch this. 1. Oh, right there. Did you see that? He just froze him. I mean, that's what's the differences between a pro player and a regular type college player.
And a foul against Cape Breton. So Bigelow is going to come in for Bruce Massey Jr. Brad States is also checked in.
Nice.
Over to States. States gets it ripped out of his hands by Genty.
That was good defense by Genty.
Bodiford, nice fake, goes baseline, kicks it out. Good movement here by Cape Breton, and knocking it down big time for the triple is Beatty.
Wow, that was good ball movement. I mean, Cape Breton's really just playing good, comfortable basketball.
And a foul against Bodiford.
And you see what they're doing, Peter, is they're waiting for the Storm to make a mistake, and then everybody's ready to shoot it, and they just get the shot before the defense can react. It's just wonderful offense and penetration and playing within your team.
That's a tough shot there for Mad Max, and now Osei, he'll bring it up high. Under a minute now remaining in the third quarter. Wide open, win. Overshot that one.
We got numbers down the other way.
And that long pass is picked off by Devon. Maxwell. Osei, mid-range, good.
Wow, that was better. Like, what a steal by, you know, I looked down the floor and Cape Breton had like 2 guys wide open, but I didn't see Maxwell. That was a big 2 points for the Storm because the game was kind of running away from them a little bit, tempo-wise, momentum-wise.
Yeah, Cape Breton came out like a house on fire in this third quarter.
So we got 10 seconds. Shot clock and game clock are the same.
Osei. Into the post now. Maxwell trying to spin on his man. That's Beatty. And that is going to do it for 3 quarters of basketball. Fast-paced third quarter, and the Highlanders, man, they're hanging in there, and they've got themselves a 5-point lead as we head towards the fourth.
This is a great game. Cape Breton is really, they've come out, and I knew this was going to be, I always love watching Cape Breton play. They're just good basketball, fundamentals. They work together as a team. They stick together, and they do what their coach wants them to do. Really good third quarter for them. And the Storm really stuck in there. I mean, Session hit some shots, and Maxwell was very good in that quarter defensively and doing a few different things with his hands. I mean, but this fourth quarter, it's game time now with 2 teams that are tired, and this is a pretty big game for both these teams.
Bodiford's had a real strong game. Beatty has been good. I mean, there hasn't been any slackers on this Cape Breton team. They've come to play here. Tough loss last night. They were in that game against Moncton. And you know you're playing Moncton. You're playing a Joe Salerno team. They're gonna play you hard defensively. So this team looks like they're fresh as daisies, really, when you think about it. Coming back from Ontario and then playing Moncton. So
you can see the open look. Like when he has an open look, wow, it's like a layup. Bodiford hitting that.
There's this fast break point here. And Devon Maxwell, and this is Bodiford. Massey knocking that one down.
A lot of good jump shooters on both these teams. But Cape Breton in that quarter, they got better shots. They got cleaner looks. So the Storm really, you could feel them start to work a little bit harder for those looks. But this is session time, and you know, we talked about it in the first half, and we talked about, let's do a little comparison right now while we have a second between Jahi Carson, their old point guard who's gone to play pro, unbelievable player, and Frank Session. In my mind, like, we're talking about 2 of elite players. Yeah. Like, so it's hard to do a comparison. They're a little bit different. In my mind, I love the things that Frank Session does outside of scoring. They score about the same, but Frank Session can rebound, gets his hands in, and he's competing, and he's also going to go out and guard whoever you ask him to. So I give the little tiny check mark to both these world-class players just to Frank Session. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, Frank, I mean, what's he got? Franklin's got he's averaging 9 rebounds per game. And, you know, you're a point guard leading the team in rebounds. Yeah. That's an extra dimension that Jahi, I mean, didn't really have when you think about it. But Jahi Carson, I mean, come on. I mean, you couldn't go wrong if he was on your team. And we saw that on display last year. I mean, there weren't too many bad games. I mean, matter of fact, I'm going to say there weren't any bad games from Jahi Carson.
No.
And I believe he's playing in Greece.
Oh, that's a tough league.
I believe he's playing in Greece. Somebody out there, correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but yeah, 2 real solid basketball players in the Storm. Lucky to have had Jahi Carson and now Franklin Session.
Yeah, and it's So that's a little bit of a kind of a comparison between them, and they're incredible athletes, and any team professionally would like to have these two.
If you lost a bet and had to take a certain player, you'd say, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Session. I like his style. I like his work ethic. But I also love Jaheed
Carson, yeah. So underway here, fourth quarter. Highlanders with a 3-point lead on the Storm. Bigelow in there. Bodiford. And Beatty lost the ball there. Knocked out of his hands by Devon Maxwell, so it'll be Cape Breton ball. Not a lot of time on the shot clock.
I thought that might have been off the knee, but we can't see it on that side of the floor, so.
Here's Bodiford, got to put it up. Missed that one.
Oh, what a rebound.
Trinity Burdine makes his second appearance here this afternoon for the Storm, number 3. Maxwell trying to spin on Beatty, and boy, oh boy, what a great post move there by Mad Max.
Can't say anything else about it. You just hit it, Peter. That was a great technical post move.
Genty missed that one. Franklin. Osei on the elbow. Osei, his jumper, and Kimi Osei has just been playing some fantastic basketball for the Island Storm.
And the post move before, which hopefully we can get on a replay because I want to talk about the technique that he used there.
Here's Osei again, forces the turnover. Franklin moves in and hammers that down. Tomahawk jam, and that's got the crowd all pumped up here in Charlottetown.
Peter, I just stood up because I'm pumped up because that was a great fast break. A good bit of basketball for the Storm, and to be able to dunk that basketball in transition like that, that's the momentum the Storm were looking for.
Well, the Storm, they're getting some great guard play, and here's Osei with the turnover, forces the turnover. And look at Franklin.
I guess it's funny because for those of you, for anybody who's played basketball and dunked a lot, that is reverse footwork. He dunks left, right, and with his right hand. Normally it's kind of like a lean, like left. You dunk, you know, at an angle like that. He does it opposite, so his body's wide open. So it looks like he's really just flying. It's really hard to do that, and just makes it look easy. So he's up to 10 points. He's on a triple-double watch right there.
This is the jumper by Kimi Osei. Boy, his shot has just been going for him over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah, just playing great basketball. And then the post move before that, what I was talking about the technique and that post move. Maxwell catches the ball in the block, and he looks, and his first dribble is getting his body closer to his defender. So once you do that, I mean, here it is. Watch.
Here it is.
Closer to the defender, spins off, hits his defender again, and lays it up. That is post work. You don't see that as much as I would like anymore. Beautifully done. Goes to his dominant hand, makes contact, brings it back, and then hooks it over. Can't do it any better than that.
There you see Devon Maxwell imparting his wisdom on young Mr. States.
Just having a season.
Yeah, Devon Maxwell, 18.2 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, almost 4 dimes per game. Franklin Session, 20.5 points per game, 9 rebounds. I mean, those two guys have been the pillars here for the Island Storm. Loose ball, Burdine gets to the ground, wins that battle. Good hustle by Trinity Burdine. That pass, States did a great job to save it. Burdine, he gets the hoop and the harm. That is some great team basketball from the Island Storm, and give Brad States full credit for saving that ball. That pass was over his head, and he showed some ups to keep it in play.
Man,
look at that.
Look at this finish.
And that bench is just pumped up big time.
Like, you wonder why, how do these guys make it to the pro levels? Because they can finish that. He was fully extended, He put spin on the ball, flicked it exactly in that right spot, and it went in. Like that's your bench giving you that solid action there. So good for him.
82-76, Storm in the lead here. Cape Breton has given them all they can handle in this game.
The Storm's defense has picked up quite a bit.
Botifer turns the corner, threw it up, no good. Franklin, he'll push the pace.
Oh, man.
Session went behind his back, lost it. And what's the call going to be?
The foul's on Cape Breton. And they jumped. Watch this. Look at Session. He's dribbling the ball, and he's beating everybody down the floor. Watch this spin. And that was where the foul was called on Bigelow. And Cape Breton didn't love it.
and Coach Spahn doesn't like it. Look of his face. And there's Maxwell. That was a tough shot. Can't make it. Bigelow can't miss him. Look at those bright shoes. Story hit the iron. States. Osei, catch, shoot. 3.
Look at Tim Kendrick. He's got his hands up in the air. He is pumped up. And he is excited. And you know what? I just want to say kudos to Coach Kendrick for this team is about to potentially win 8 in a row. 2 months ago, I'm sure he was feeling a lot of pressure. And, you know, Tim Kendrick has a certain style that players love playing for him because he feeds them full of confidence. And this team, you're seeing, if you stick with a coach like that, you can see players like Osei and Maxwell, and they love playing for this guy. And good for him because, you know, first year in the pro division, and it's going to be first of very many.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big difference. You go from, you know, youth sport basketball coaching young men in university, and you're coaching men here. You're coaching some guys that have played, you know, all over the world. And that's not an easy transition. And he's done a great job in his first year as a pro head coach. And this is a guy unbelievable in the high school ranks. I mean, he has a number of Nova Scotia records. Did a great job turning things around at UPEI, and now he's come here, and they've won 7 in a row, and they're 855 away from making 8 in a row as they approach the playoffs in the NBLC.
Yeah, and I mean, it's styles. It's styles of coaching. And, you know, I'm watching the Island Storm fast break, and when they get the rebound, they trust each other, and they were coming out like Napoleon Army. And everybody was doing their, I don't know anything about Napoleonic Wars,
okay.
But, you know, they were coming out.
You saw something on the History Network,
exactly,
did you?
I'm all pumped up. And they came out in that fast break, and I was like, that is a nice fast break. So they're doing things that are way more in sync, and they're playing well. And when they want to bring their defense up, you can see it's really come.
Plenty of time left in this game. Botiford. Bordine gets a hand in his face. Story from downtown, and Malik Story shooting the ball very well here this evening. Yesterday in that loss, he had 26 points, 10 rebounds to Moncton. Bordine, he'll try it. Maxwell gets the offensive board. Franklin working on Bigelow.
Clearing out.
And Franklin, bam!
Nothing you can do there. You can't defend the shot because they'll go by you. You can't play off them because they'll shoot.
And there's a foul on Braswell.
And
yeah,
I mean,
you don't have very many options when you're defending Franklin Session, do you?
Even his bow and arrow is the fastest in the league. I mean, look, wow. Sling arrows that fast. I mean, good for him. Like, he came out halftime, only had 2 points. He's up into the 15-point area right now, so he's on a triple-double watch for sure.
We've said it many times before. There are a lot of people in the city of Los Angeles that say that Franklin Session is the best player that ever came out of that city.
Yeah.
We've said it before, and it's it's worth saying again, that is some heady praise because I'm thinking there's been a few great players that come out of L.A.
He's feeling it now. State's looking for the foul.
And State's, his shot out of control there. Here's Massey. He sinks the double.
That's a really nice jump shot. You know, just controlled, sets his feet, and then brings everything up at one tempo and rhythm. What?
Oh,
What?
Franklin Session again. He's getting it done here this afternoon, folks. Didn't have a great first half. He's come on fire here in the second half for the Storm. Massey comes back, and he's knocked down.
Yeah, he got fouled.
As that is Devon Maxwell, and Mad Max is in a bit of pain and discomfort.
Hopefully you can see a replay on that. Look at, watch Maxwell. He'll hit him here. When he comes off, he's too much space. Hits him. And then goes down.
Looked like he is. The ankle of Massey just clipped Devon to send him down. Seems to be okay right now as Massey goes to the line.
He's got 3 to shoot, but yeah, I think it was he was in the air.
Take a look at it again.
But you know as a player when you've hit somebody, you just got.
Ooh, that looked like it hit him in a very sensitive area. I think that's what it was. Okay. I thought it was his lower body, but it was the sensitive area part of a male. And we'll leave it at that. But he seems to be okay. He's walked it off,
fine.
if you know what I mean. And I think that you do.
Yeah. He hit 2 or 3 shots here. So they're hanging in there. Like 7 minutes left to go. There's a lot of time.
Plenty of time. Franklin thought about it. Osei, he'll go triple. And Kimi Osei.
Yeah. But those 2 guards are just shooting the lights out here.
Outstanding guard play this afternoon for the Storm. Massey, little finger roll. And Bruce Massey Jr. down the lane gets 2. Osei, loose ball. Braswell had it. And Massey,
terrible foul.
He gets a little bump there from Trinity Bourdain, and he picks him up. So a foul that Trinity would like to have back.
Yeah, and Bourdain getting a lot of minutes here. Coach likes what he's doing. I like what he's doing too. You got to make sure you keep your head though. You know, because the Storm, like when they get into these gaps, these 10-point gaps, they have a tendency to fall asleep a little bit. You got to, pedal has to stay on the metal here. You're trying to look to get Session a shot, Osei a shot. They're the ones who are on fire. So make sure you do the work and then try to kick it out for them for an open jump shot.
94-85 for the Storm over Cape Breton. Here's Braswell, low post, kicks it out, and Bodiford can't handle it. And it'll be Storm ball.
Bodiford, he was talking to the ref there. I don't know what he was asking for. It was clearly off, but you got to plead your case. You got to try to, work the refs here and there. So this is a nice action here. Do you see that action to get a shooter a shot?
Franklin, that was in and out. States taps at it. Franklin saves it. Good job. Kimi Osei wide open for 3. Can't hit it. And back the other way comes Cape Breton. And hooping the harm? Yes, it is. As Malik Story will go to the line and shoot 1.
That is a crazy finish. Look at this.
Ooh, Bourdain got the elbow up on Malik. Little shoulder shrug there from Malik Story.
That's a little move for the club, I think.
Malik Story out of Pasadena, California. Played a little pro in Europe. Played for the Moncton team in the NBL. 94-88.
I just reading online, we're getting a custom jersey made.
Are we?
Yes.
Like both you and I?
Yeah, I guess so.
Really? Okay.
A little bit late to the party here, but thanks a lot, everybody. Great fan discussion online.
And there's Franklin again. Another triple for Franklin.
Top tier sportswear. What are we talking about? Woo! Love it.
Fast break. Here's Anderson. Yes.
We need a timeout right now. Yeah, this place is going electric right now.
As
it's going to the line, too.
So, okay, so Chris Anderson was fouled.
I don't know if the fans out there can appreciate the body control that Anderson just showed us finishing that layup. You're moving at the basket to the left with contact on your right, and you can feather it in off the backboard. It's not easy, and he made it look very easy. So what a player.
So Anderson converts in the three-point play. It's now 100-88 in favor of the Storm. They're starting to pull away here. Late stages of the fourth quarter. Massey can't control that ball. Maxwell, no-look pass.
Bodiford.
And that was Bodiford that came back to disrupt that play for Cape Breton. Let's take a look at it as the Storm, they had numbers going the other way.
Very nice. So this is a 12-point game. It's not out of reach here. 4:27 left.
And Anderson, he's going to get tagged with a foul.
What a great Sunday afternoon crowd. I mean, there's only one more home game here, and it's next Sunday, so make sure you get out to that one if you can. Then it's playoff time.
Yeah, a few more games left to be played. The Storm, they have to go back for their final regular season game to London, a game that was canceled. Franklin gets his own rebound. Session moves in, a little finger roll, and then a follow-up by Devon Maxwell. Are they going to wave that off?
I think so.
Yes, they're waving it off.
They're going to call Session on they got fouled. Gets his own rebound.
Devon Maxwell has been all over it here this afternoon. Right from the opening tip, he has just been so consistent, as he normally is. But today, for some reason, he's just playing out of his tree.
Amazing. And I like what the Highlanders did today. Like, they came, they brought it, and they're bringing it. It just, the Storm took it to another level in the third. You can't guard from the perimeter inside. Started with that post move. I mean, the Storm were just coming at you with everything from every position.
And, you know, they've been getting it Henry off the bench. Brad States has given him good minutes. Trinity Burdine has given them good minutes. They've been getting a whole bunch of play from their bench. Big games from Maxwell, you know, from Kimi Osei, as you see him right there laying the ball down. He's been amazing. And, of course, I mean, the finishing touch is Carl Hall. Having him makes such a big difference for this basketball team.
And he hasn't played much in the second half because of matchups. I mean, they were going with Maxwell at the 5. And then you had your two guards that were hot. So, I mean, Burdine played a lot, and States was in there. So they went a little bit smaller. But that's just situational basketball.
Story comes off a screen, knocking it down. Malik Story picking up where he left off yesterday in Moncton. Here's Hall working against Braswell into the paint. Hooping the harm, yes, he's going to shoot for one. And if you're just joining us, it's late in the fourth quarter. You're going, what's with the purple uniforms here that the Storm are wearing? Well, it's Cancer Awareness Day here at the East Link Center for the Storm, and they're going to auction off these jerseys for a very good cause. So well done by the Storm here today.
Yeah, and top-tier sportswear. Come on, these jerseys look smoking hot.
Speaking of smoking hot, here's Maxwell. Can't convert, and then finally it's Hall. He'll back up his teammate and gets the deuce. And that'll be Storm ball as Bodiford was out of control. And boy, Rick Bodiford, he has done everything in his power for this Cape Breton team.
Oh yeah, so many good individual players for Cape Breton, and it's just a long,
That was Osei with the alley, but Franklin couldn't get the oop, and back the other way, Trinity Burdine doesn't roll for him. Anderson will push it up. Maxwell, one-handed jam.
He must have 30 right now. We don't have the stats in front of us, but oh, wow. Just some unbelievable efforts. Team basketball at its finest. Gets the rebound, pushes it.
And then a little bit of a stare down there at Braswell. And the Storm with a 109-93 lead here, and they're 238 from making it 8 wins in a row. So this team, if they're going to get hot, this is the right time to do it.
Oh yeah, this is going to be 8 in a row. That's tough to do in this league. Unbelievable. And going to Ontario for 3 games. I mean, they play London on April 1st, I do believe.
That's right. Yeah.
And then playoffs should start. People were asking, they have to wait till everything's finalized, but I think it'll be probably the home teams would want to get weekend games, so it'll probably be that Friday night, Saturday night potentially. It also depends on the arenas and the different hockey schedules this time of year, I do believe.
But the other thing is, right now the Storm, they're in 3rd place in the Atlantic Division. They have 4 games in hand on the Moncton Magic. So, I mean, 2nd place is not out of the realm of possibility for this basketball team.
Yeah. And then 2nd place, they would play the 4th place team which would be St. John. And they've been struggling without Gabe Freeman a little bit. Yeah, they're still dangerous.
Yeah, they're 3-7 in their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row. Let's give you some scores from this afternoon. 2 other games being played in the NBLC, and right now, late 4th quarter, 5:52 remaining in the 4th. It's Halifax really running up on St. John. It's 87-61 in that game. And at the break, London and Kitchener, it's a 63-37 lead for Royce White and the London Lightning over the Kitchener Waterloo Titans.
It's a spread. 2:38 in this one. Close to at least a couple. When I came in, the place was, I couldn't even walk in the mezzanine. Yeah. It was that busy. So
a couple of grand in here today, 22, maybe 2,300. So that's a good crowd for the Storm. They've been getting great support all season long. And I think that support will go up a couple of notches with the playoffs coming around and the fact that they're red hot.
Yeah. And they're a fun team to watch.
Franklin, that's a deep 3. Off the iron. Story gave it right back to Devon Maxwell. He moves in. Window went in for 2.
You just can't handle. Cape Breton doesn't have anybody that can handle his quickness and ability to get to the basket with his long levers. But they gave it a good fight. The score is not going to be indicative of what this Cape Breton team gave today.
Well, they played very hard for 3 quarters and a bit in the 4th, and just the juice ran out.
Yeah.
As Hall gets 2 as he went baseline. Massey gets his own rebound and is fouled by Devon Maxwell as he put the clamps on Massey Jr. And now Tim Kendrick decides he wants to bring in some players off the bench. And there you see a nice hug there. Maxwell to Devon, to Coach Tim Kendrick. And he greets Anderson, who had a great game. Here's Franklin Session. He'll come out of the contest as well. And boy, I tell you, Tim Kendrick, he appreciates the hard work of these men here and what they've been able to do this afternoon and what they've been able to do the last couple of weeks.
Logged a lot of minutes in the last 4 games. And today they just blew it open in the third. Good shooting, good ball movement, and they picked up their defense. Remember those lapses we talked about a couple months ago? They haven't been there today. I mean, finished just maybe a little bit in the second quarter, but I mean, hey, they're getting rid of that. They're polished. They're getting themselves ready. Every game they're getting a little bit more confident.
Yeah, there were a lot of games where, you know, they shoot the ball, they come back slow on defense, and they get burned. You know, you didn't see that here this afternoon. And from talking to Coach Kendrick before this game, that wasn't the case on the road trip to Ontario. Everybody back on defense and being sturdy defensively. There's Meshach Lufile. He gets a little bit of playing time. Meshach had that sprained ankle. Earlier on the season, he's slowly but surely getting back into form.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to need him. And
listen, with Meshach, good player. He's going to get minutes. He's going to get time. You bring in Carl Hall is going to soak up a lot of minutes.
And Meshach, great pass out of the low post. Got it over for Burdine, and he knocks it down for a triple.
And, you know, he's playing behind Maxwell and Carl Hall, so, I mean, and Anderson now. So it's just there's not much time to be had. So if he's a pro, he's going to get, when he gets his time, he's going to make the most of it.
That was great recognition there by Meshach Lufile, as I said, on that pass there. As he saw the wide open Trinity Burdine.
And Burdine is, listen, there's
he's played a good
game.
game.
There's Trinity Burdine.
Yeah.
He's super confident, and he knows he can play at this level. So he can knock that jump shot down. He can score about 16 points in 16 seconds. I mean, he's going to be a good pro. He needs to gain about 10 pounds, and he'll do that, and that'll help him out defensively. Once he does that, get in the weight room, put on that weight, poof.
Yeah, he's given Tim Kendrick some good minutes off the bench. And, you know, I'm looking down at that Storm bench, and I'm seeing Chris Johnson, and I'm also seeing Tyler Scott, 2 guys that didn't play here. So that depth has just gotten a lot better here over the last 4 or 5 weeks.
That's 28 points not playing.
Sitting on the bench, yeah. So into the dying seconds of this one. That's a miss by Wynn.
Bodiford again.
Bodiford, finger roll, no good. Loose ball, there's Braswell, he puts it back.
That'll do it. What a win for the Storm, Peter. It's great to broadcast with you today, big fella.
And the fans getting to their feet here, they're very appreciative. And that is 8 wins in a row for the Island Storm. We're getting close to the end of the regular season. If you're going to go on a run, this is the right time to do it. They're starting to feel confident. They've added the big body of Carl Hall. And this team, look out.
They got all the pieces, and they're peaking at the right time. Nobody would want to play this team. They're so dangerous in every position that, you know, they could have a really strong playoff run. So they got to continue to work on the little things and trust each other. And Coach Tim Kendrick, big shout out to him for putting such a good team together.
Just a reminder, folks, last home game here at the Eastling Center, March the 25th. St. John Riptide will come to town. Get your tickets. Go to the Eastling Center box office. Phone them at 902-629-6625 or head on down in person to the box office, 46 Kensington Road in Charlottetown. Box office hours 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. So that's for the final regular season game, March 25th against the St. John Riptide. And there you see on the screen, that is the website to go to, the email address to go to in order to put in a bid for these cancer awareness jerseys that you saw here this afternoon at the Eastling Center that the Storm were wearing. So the final score this afternoon in Charlottetown, the Island Storm make it 8 wins in a row, a 116-99 victory over the Cape Breton Highlanders. So on behalf of Gord McNeely and the Universum crew, I'm Peter Ruckazer saying so long from Charlottetown.